Good evening and welcome to Weather or Not. I'm your guest co-host Robert Johnson alongside Matt Yarosewick, our forecaster this evening. And Matt, I know that we have some rain in the forecast coming up.
We do, Rob. The first half of the weekend, we may see some rain, and also maybe in the middle part of next week as well.
All right, we'll get those details in just a little bit. Also, on this episode of Weather or Not, we're talking about the monthly climate report for the month of August, as well as volcano forecasting, and an update on the damage done in the Bahamas left by Hurricane Dorian. That and so much more coming up. But first, let's begin with nature in the news.
Hurricane Dorian took a track that put it on a crash course with the northern Bahamas early last week. The Abaco Islands and the island of Grand Bahama were directly in the path of the powerful eye. Dorian made two separate landfalls on both of the islands as one of the most powerful storms to ever hit the Bahamas. The catastrophic Category 5 hurricane hit the islands with 185 mile-per-hour sustained winds, storm surge, and heavy rains. After almost 48 hours of being hammered by the storm, blue skies finally revealed the devastation left behind. Winds sawed trees and buildings in half, rolling cars and tossing boats. The storm surge of 18 to 23 feet swept away anything and everything in its path. Many survivors on the island have lost everything and are trying to search through the rubble for those that are still missing. The islands are calling out for help in every way possible, as most of these areas hardest hit are currently uninhabitable and may be for the near future.
Okay, I'll start again. 3, 2. This month, much of the United States experienced departure from average in temperature and rainfall. All of these summer highlights are provided by NOAA's latest monthly climate report. In terms of temperatures, the average temperature for the contiguous United States was recorded to be 1.8 degrees above average. This past month tied with the year of 1955 for 13th warmest August on record. Not only did the contiguous United States experience warmer temperatures, but Alaska recorded the second hottest summer. Although most of the United States experienced above average temperatures, the central and northern plains, as well as the Great Lakes region, experienced either near or below average temperatures throughout the summer. Not only were temperature averages higher than normal, but there were also higher amounts of rainfall too. Wetter than normal conditions expanded from the Gulf Coast to the northern plains, with Nebraska and Kansas both setting the record for the wettest month on average in August.
Health of one of the 7 natural wonders of the world is declining due to several factors. The Great Barrier Reef off of the Australian coast is in a slow decline and has been for some time now. Last week, a report released by the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority downgraded the condition of the reef from poor 5 years ago to very poor just now. The reef spans 134,634 miles, and every square mile of it is declining due to 3 separate factors. The first is climate change. The rise in average temperatures across the world is creating a warmer ocean temperature, which is killing some of the coral that makes up these reefs. The second impact comes from coastal development, which brings with it more land runoff, and it slowly eats away at the coral on these reefs. The third impact comes from elevated numbers of divers and fishermen in the area. Steps will need to be made to get the Great Barrier Reef's bill of health better in the next 5 years.
Imagine doing your favorite activity when suddenly the ground starts shaking violently. You look outside and see a monstrous tower of smoke over a mountain, and officials frantically run up to your door and tell you the mountain has erupted, drop everything, and leave now. Over the years, scientists have increased their ability to predict these events. However, there is still significant amount of uncertainty on exactly when and how violent the eruption will be. Geologists are now using a technique commonly used in weather forecasting to develop new eruption models. The technique is a statistical data analysis technique called Kalman filtering. The group used this technique to recreate the 2008 Aukman eruption. While further testing is still needed, scientists are hoping to learn more about volcanic eruptions and the underlying processes that occur to predict potential eruptions more accurately.
Good evening, I'm Matt Yarosewick here with your Central PA forecast. This weekend will start out a little dreary, but in the end we could see some sun, and I'll show you when in just a second. Starting though on Friday, we will see showers across the state. They will be scattered in nature along with this cold front that's draped over the eastern parts of Ohio. When you're not seeing a shower, you will be seeing clouds, so an overall dreary day there on Friday. For the day on Saturday, that cold front really doesn't move all that much. We can still see those showers draped in the western part of the state, and those showers will be widely scattered in the morning hours. In the afternoon, we will get a little bit humid, and we could see that sun peek out. And that will be the start of our dry second half of our weekend. For the day on Sunday, high pressure really takes over, creating warm conditions. We can actually see that cold front really just scoot right off the east coast there, taking any shower or precipitation with it. And that will create our great second half of the weekend. For Friday, though, we're looking at 71 degrees as your high temperature. Those scattered showers will be around pretty much the entire day, especially as we head into the overnight hours. Now, this is when our cold front's getting a little closer, but still hasn't passed yet. We're 61 degrees for our low temperature, so if you're heading out on Friday night, make sure you take an extra layer. Might get a little chilly late at night. Scattered showers still around as well. For the day on Saturday, though, lingering showers just in the morning hours. We will get up to a high temperature of 78 in the afternoon. It will be a little humid for the second half of the day. Also, for the day on Saturday, the Penn State-Pitt football game here at Penn State. 12 o'clock kickoff over at Beaver Stadium. 78 degrees will be the high temperature. We won't get there right at kickoff. It will still be feeling in the low 70s around kickoff time. Those morning showers could also be hanging around if you're heading out early to tailgate or even the first quarter or two. And after that, we could see the clouds clear and maybe a little bit of sunshine by the fourth quarter. Then on Sunday, 80 degrees will be your high temperature, mostly sunny skies. Sunday definitely looking like the pick of the weekend, if you're asking me. Now, next up, we have a special feature on sunflowers by Jenna.
This summer, I had the chance to visit a sunflower field, and I immediately fell in love with these mysteriously beautiful flowers. Sunflowers are a major favorite by many people, especially for picture purposes. Although they make for beautiful backdrops, sunflowers are so much more than they appear, for they're actually quite complicated plants. That's why I want to take a few minutes to share some basic aspects of sunflowers and how they contribute to the environment. One of my favorite facts about sunflowers is that their native home takes place right here in the United States, as well as Canada, northern Mexico, and Central America. Sunflowers actually have the capability to grow in all 50 states in the country, which is pretty impressive for one plant. The sunflower blooming season takes place from July to August, for the season is highly dependent on the type of weather patterns present during the summer season. Sunflowers flourish in dry and warm environments. Not only do they look like the sun, but they also need a lot of it to survive. The two most important weather aspects for sunflowers to bloom during the summer months include sunlight and temperature. During the day, a sunflower needs at least 6 to 8 full hours of sunlight in order to sprout. This is why the summer season is perfect for growing sunflowers. The hotter the weather and the warmer the climate, the healthier the sunflower. Sunflowers are known for their ability to survive extreme heat. Along with dry weather comes dry soil, and sunflowers thrive in these conditions. But when the soil is waterlogged, the plant is unable to sustain itself to further growing. Sunflowers are known as drought-driven plants. With that being said, in order for them to properly grow, there needs to be a sustainable amount of water during the establishment stages of their growth. Specifically, the root system must properly be nourished at the beginning growing periods. Sunflowers are extremely adaptable and can be grown in almost any location with proper nourishment. Although sunflowers are known as drought plants, they are still capable of growing in humid conditions, which make it possible for the sunflower to grow in many areas in the United States, as well as Central America. In areas where there is more moisture present, sunflower soil needs to be drained occasionally. The tallest sunflower height recorded in all the world was 13 feet tall. This particular flower grew so tall because it had the proper amount of nourishment from its environment. Another fan favorite fact of sunflowers is that their heads track the sun, always blooming in the direction of the sun, absorbing as much sunlight as possible. Now, this statement is only partially true. During adolescent stages of growth, sunflowers need to face the sun in order to receive the proper nourishment to thrive. In circumstances where there is not a lot of sunlight, for example, during a cloudy day, adolescent sunflowers face each other to share their radiative energy with one another. This only happens during the adolescent stages of growth. Once sunflowers reach maturity in their growth, they bloom facing east. Sunflowers also can be used as sources to help the environment, for they are capable of soaking up nuclear radiation. In fact, in 2011, a magnitude 9 earthquake struck the Pacific Ocean, which in turn caused a coastal tsunami in Japan. Not only were there damages from flooding of water, but during the tsunami, the Fukushima power plant had been damaged, which triggered a nuclear emergency. 6 months after the tsunami hit Japan, communities started using the environment to heal the land, and this included growing fields of sunflowers, not only to revitalize the look of the land from the rubbish left behind, but also to soak up some of the toxins along the hillside of the Fukushima power plant. This is just one of the many examples shown how sunflowers were used to reduce toxins. Not only do sunflowers heal the land, but they are often used in different ways to heal the body. One sunflower contains around 2,000 seeds, which are harvested and used for nutritious value. Sunflower seeds contain nutrients that can help fight off several different chronic diseases. Sunflowers can also be used in practical ways as well. After the flower dies, the sunflower pad can be used as a brush to help scrub items when cleaning. Sunflowers are a mystery, for they carry their own little personalities that wake up every day looking for the warmth from the sun. They live their short summer lives embracing the sunny crown on their head, healing and nourishing the land and those among it.
And now here's your extended forecast. This weekend will start off a little dreary. We can see it there on Friday. 71 will be your temperature. Dreary day ahead. On Saturday, though, the football game here at Penn State. The first half of the game may be a little wet, but in the afternoon we will see dry conditions, and that will continue into the day on Sunday, where we will be warm and mostly sunny with a high temperature of 80 degrees. As we look at our extended forecast, we can see that Monday looking almost like Sunday, up toward 80 degrees with some of that sunshine. Tuesday still dry, but then as we get to the second half of the week, we will see those shower chances come back into the picture, unfortunately, for the second half of the week next week.
All right, Matt, a little bit of a mixed bag there. Some precip, but still some sunshine too, with some higher than average temperatures.
Yep.
Not too bad
Definitely.
out there. All right,
not too bad.
Let's take a look at our Weather Whiz quiz question. We asked you this question earlier in the show. Here we go. During which month is the peak of hurricane season? Is it A, July, B, August, C, September, or D, October? And the answer is C, September, the peak month for hurricane season. And we've seen quite a few hurricanes this season so far, one of them, of course, being Dorian.
Yes, we have. Dorian wreaked havoc there in the Bahamas.
Yes.
And now we are still watching a few areas there out in the Atlantic that could still maybe develop over the next week or two.
And if that happens, you know we'll keep you posted right here on Whether or Not. For all of us here, I'm your host, Robert Johnson.
And I'm your forecaster, Matt Yarosewick.
Make it a good night, everybody. Join us next time right here on Whether or Not. Good night.